Welcome to the Old Mill Kitchen. Today we're doing all things puff pastry. Little treats, savoury and sweet. But first, before I do that, I'm going to get into doing a little pastry cream, which will be ubiquitously used throughout the different sweets that I'm going to do later on. Also, I'm going to make a little bit of butterscotch. But to start off with, I'm going to be making our pastry cream. So the first thing I'm going to do is get the milk on the stove and we'll start from there. So onto the stove we go, a little bit of milk, and that's going to be scalding away while I mix the dry ingredients. What I'm going to do is put in the sugar into the egg yolks and whisk that up till it's pretty creamy. The one thing I will say is don't add your sugar in too early, as it will, sugar's hygroscopic, so that means that it absorbs a lot of moisture onto itself. So you don't want to do that because it would leave the egg yolks very grainy and gritty. So just put that in there like that, and we're just going to whisk away. Get that going, and all we want to do now is get that nice and creamy and mixed up. Along with that, I'm going to add in half an ounce of corn flour and half an ounce of flour. Some people like to use all corn flour, some people like to use all regular flour. I think it's a great compromise here, because you get the smoothness of the corn flour, but you get the stability of the regular flour. So that goes in there also, and we're just going to mix that again. And all we're going to do now is keep mixing that till it's light and it's fluffy. And when the milk comes to the boil, or just under the boil, we're going to add the milk to the egg yolks and the flour and the corn flour. We're going to do that very slowly, because if we add all the milk into the eggs very quickly, you'll end up with scrambled eggs. And we don't want that to be. So here we are, and mix, mix, mix. Us chefs don't have to go to the gym because we work out pretty hard in the kitchen. So mix, mix, mix. What we're looking for is a lovely light pale colour, and this will help in the resulting sauce or pastry cream to be lovely and smooth, which we want, because this pastry cream is going to make a great foil for our various different fruits and our various different little pastries that we're going to be making. It's hard work, but somebody's got to do it. Now, that's our milk scalded there, and I'm only going to put on a wee bit at a time until I get. I don't want to raise the temperature of the eggs too much, because we'll end up with the scrambled eggs. So just a small amount, whisking all the time. That's there. It's sort of your heart's in your mouth, hoping that you don't turn it into scrambled egg. So we just pour this back in then into the milk. And what we're going to do then is bring that over to the gas, bring it up to the boil, and just cook it out for 1 or 2 minutes, because the flour and the corn flour needs to cook out. Otherwise you'll have that taste of flour and corn flour. So it's back to the gas again. And that's not going to take too long, but it's one of these things that you have to keep an eye on. It's one of these things, it's like risotto or whatever, you just can't leave the pot. You have to watch it. It's one of these things that you have to do. So it's constant stirring, constant watching. When the job's done, then it has its 101 uses. So that's it. Whisk, whisk, whisk. That'll cook now in this the residual heat. And I'm going to add some vanilla extract to that as well, just for a bit of flavouring. That's the vanilla extract there. And there we have it. Beautiful, smooth pastry cream. That's really looking well. So we'll put that into a dish. And that's going to go into the fridge and cool down. But before we do that, I'm going to put some cling film over it, and it's going to actually touch the pastry cream, because I don't want a skin forming on the top of it. Now you can, there's another way of stopping the crust on the top, is to shake some icing sugar over it, or sieve some icing sugar over it. So, but we're going to be using the cling film. Don't just put the cling film on over it and it's not touching the surface, because it will form a skin. We want it actually touching the pastry cream itself. Now you can let it cool down a wee bit longer, but I'm just getting on with it here, and you see it's actually touching the surface, and that's going to go into the fridge, cool down, and that's going to be ready for us to use later on. The next thing I'm going to do is do the butterscotch sauce, and that's just basically putting all the ingredients together. They're very simple ingredients. They're butter, sugar, brown sugar. You can use dark or really dark sugar, or just that light brown that I'm using, and of course cream. Also there'll be vanilla extract there as well. And the first thing we've got to do is we're going to put in the butter, and we're going to melt the butter on the stove. Then we're going to add the sugar, and then we're going to finish it off with the cream. And that's just, it's a pretty simple sauce to make. While I'm waiting on that butter there to melt, what I'm going to do is put on the oven. You need a real hot oven when you're dealing with puff pastry. It's got to be a well preheated oven at 200, otherwise it won't rise. So just basically turn on the oven there now at 200, and that's going to take 10-15 minutes to heat up. That's our butter melted there. We're going to add the brown sugar to that now. We're going to mix that together. So that's the sugar melting into the butter, and we're just going to add the cream now. So that goes into a nice smooth sauce. This is going to take about 5 minutes. Obviously this is a sauce that you wouldn't want to be using every day if you're watching the calories. It's a bit of a decadent sauce, but it's nice to treat yourself now and then. So we're waiting for that to come to the boil, and then we'll just cook it on a low heat for 5 minutes. And it's looking very caramelly already. The cream's taking on the colour of the brown sugar, and it's a matter of keeping your eye on it as well. Again, it's one of these things that you have to keep your eye on, otherwise it could burn very quickly on you. So one thing I will say is when this sauce is finished, be very careful when you're tasting it or testing it, because it's sugar and it can reach a very high temperature and burn your mouth. So you want to make sure that it's cooled down before you actually test it. That's the sauce there. It's a lovely caramel colour, and this is going to go very well now with our banana caramel puff pastries. I'm just going to put in a wee bit of vanilla extract as well, just to give it a, adds another dimension to the flavour. Now I'm just going to use a few drops there, and stir that in, and there is our simple but very effective caramel sauce. That's lovely. It's just the way, the lovely colour, lovely consistency. Love it. Yeah, I've got the pastry sheet here. Now that's frozen. I've frozen it. It's going to take about 10 or 15 minutes now just to defrost. I'm going to use it before it completely gets to room temperature. It can be very awkward working with puff pastry when it's at room temperature. So you want to really work with it when it's cool. Defrost it, but cool at the same time. because it'll stick to everything and it's very difficult to work with. So that's going to take sit there for about 10-15 minutes, and then we're going to cut out all the various different shapes. I don't want to defrost it, because when you're cutting down and it's defrosted, the edges all stick together and you're inhibiting the possibility of the pastry rising to its full extent. So here we have the pastry, and it's just partially defrosted. So we've got 6 of these we want, so it's as simple as that. Clean, done easy, no fussing about. This will be something new for you to try. So here we have the little discs cut out, and we're going to put them into our little tray here, which I'm going to grease, and just to stop it sticking, so I've just a wee bottle here with a bit of sunflower oil in it, and just as simple as that. And a quick rub around them. Grease. You don't have to grease them too much because puff pastry is quite buttery anyway, but it's just to ensure that they don't stick. That's the last thing we need. So there we are, that's that. So, get our little discs, set them into our tray like so. Simple as that. When your puff pastry is partially frozen, it makes the job much easier to work with them. And so what we're going to do is we're going to bake these blind. I have my oven on there, it's up at 200, good hot oven. And I'm going to use these little grease-proof discs that I've cut out. I'm just going to put them there. And these are going to bake for 15 minutes. And we'll take out the paper and then put it back in the oven for 5 minutes just to dry out the inside. It's as simple as that. And to weigh these down, I'm going to use some of these wee copper coins, which are washed and all. I like to use these. A lot of people use peas, dried peas or rice or something. I use these time and time again. I find that they conduct the heat better. So for a wee change, you could use, that's a joke by the way, that you can use these instead of peas or whatever. It's as simple as that. They do a better job than rice or peas or whatever, dried peas. So these are on like so. What's going to happen, these when they come out then we're going to let them cool, and we're going to paint the inside with melted chocolate, and we're going to put them into the fridge so that they can cool, and then we'll fill them with our apple and our pastry cream. So into the oven these go for 15 minutes. Check my clock. And that's it in for 15 minutes. Now while they're in there cooking for 15 minutes, I'm going to cut out a couple of strips of puff pastry, and I'm just going to show you one of these designs. This particular one here is called a Jalouse. It's an old French tart, and it's very straightforward. What we do is we measure half and half. Both sides have to be roughly the same. So we're going 6 down the middle. And I'm cutting this out like so. Again, this has to be defrosted or partially defrosted. Now both are the same. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to be cutting out the border for the pastry underneath. Now I'm cutting that mine's out, I'm not even going to measure because you don't want to be too pedantic about it. It's yourself, you're sitting it. So I'm cutting out the frame like so, like so, over like so. Now you can be thin or as thick a frame as you wish yourselves. So here we go. Now, we're going to egg wash the side. Now you think of egg wash, this is just egg and a bit of water. Think it is like food glue. It basically sticks things together. So that's something we use all the time. Not alone does it stick, make things stick together, pastry and that, it's also great for giving colour to, well there we are, that's the reason that you make it exactly the same size there. There we are. Straighten it up. Good job of it. And what I'm going to do here is I'm putting wee holes in it here to stop the inside rising so much. But you don't want to make the holes the whole way through. You just want to dot it. You don't want to make so that you'll have leakages. So that goes straight onto my tray here. This is parchment paper, so I don't have to flour it because it will actually, basically will not stick to it. Now that's done. A little bit of egg wash on the sides of that just to get a bit of colour onto it. There we are. So it has dual purpose here today, this egg wash. That's going to go into the oven again. It's going to take 15 or 20 minutes, and that's our first sheet. This will be filled with kiwi and strawberries, and it'll be glazed with an apricot glaze. So that'll make a nice dessert, good for dinner parties and so forth. Now I'm going to cut out a couple of squares. These I'm going to make into apple caramels, and you just cut it out like so. Cut out like so. Squares, and just a wee cut here, a little cut there, and again the other side. And we do 3 of those. And, oven's going to be fairly full in a minute. So there we go. With that, again our egg wash, and again we want things to stick here. So we're doing egg wash. There we go. Just take one side and pull it over here. Take the other side and pull it over there. And we have a nice little vessel for our banana and sugar and butter caramel. These are nice as well. You have to take it roughly the same time again, but most pastry takes about 15 to 20 minutes. These on the tray. And now we're going to build our little desserts. We're going to start off with some banana. Slice that down. Slice the banana. Here. This will all come together in the time that it takes the pastry to cook. So put a bit of butter. Again, this is the decadent dessert. You're not going to be eating these too often. Sugar, some brown sugar. And this is basically you're making caramel as well. And we're just going to add some more banana. There's a bit of goodness in it. When you've got the banana, at least you've got that. I'm just going to finish it off with sugar again. I'm going to pop these into the oven now, and they're going to take 15 minutes as well. Now, my puff pastry cases have been in the oven for about 15 minutes, so I'm going to take them out, and yes, they're looking good. So what I'm going to do now is take my change or my coinage out, put it back in there, because I'll be needing them again, and there we go, that's the coins got out. And I'm going to put them back in the oven now for 3 or 4 minutes, just basically to dry them out. And the job's halfway there then. So there we are, these lovely wee pastry cases. I'm going to put them back in now for just to dry it out. And our other pastry is doing very nicely in there, and they'll be ready in about 6 to 7 minutes. The sauce has cooled down slightly now, so just give it a wee taste and see what it's like. It looks the part in it. Absolutely delicious. dread to think what the amount of calories is in that, but everybody deserves a wee treat now and then. So there we are. As well as that, I must take out my little buns. They're ready. They're ready. So they're going to cool down. They look a bit like Yorkshire puddings, but of pastry. Asbestos fingers helps. So that's that there. Also, I must have got it oven as well as our Jaloise. It should be cooked as well. Certainly is. That's looking the part there. I'll just press that down there. That's what we do with that. That'll just go yet. So what I'm going to do now is try and do a wee starter. And I'm going to cut out a couple of discs for the starter. There we go. Again, a clean cut. For my little pizza starters. These are potato or tomato and mozzarella. Little mini pizzas. What I'm going to do here is just put a little curve around the side, and that's going to help the edges to come up. Now you can use a coffee cup or something and do the edges like so. There we are. I think I probably should have used a wee cup or some kind, but anyway. On these go here. And I'm going to use my fork again to or a knife here, just to make little holes to stop the pastry rising. First thing I'm going to do is a little squirt of tomato paste. Simple as that. Spread it out. Just a hint. Now, add some mozzarella, sliced mozzarella. Put the ham on like so. Make a lovely wee start. Some sliced tomato. Again, and the time that it takes the puff pastry to cook, the mozzarella will be melted and the tomatoes will be nicely roasted. Again, it can be a little treat for the young ones in the house, or a little starter. And if you had, which I don't have, fresh basil, you could just give a wee flurry of fresh basil at the end. I'm just going to season it with a little bit of salt and pepper. A little bit of salt and pepper. Tomatoes love pepper. A little bit of salt. And they're going straight into the oven like that. And then make a lovely wee starter. Nice and treat. So into the oven with those. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to be melting some chocolate. And what I'd say to you about melting chocolate is in the microwave is that you want to just do it in bursts. You don't want to do it all at once because the chocolate will scorch and burn on you. So 30-second blast in the microwave and just stir it between each minute. So we'll just go over here now, get this into the microwave. What we'll do now is just brush the inside of our wee puff pastry. banana with a caramel sauce. And they're still nice and hot. And a wee drizzle of the butterscotch sauce on top of them. I'm just going to get a wee plate now and just put them up. Layer that up. Kiwis on each side. This is apricot glaze. Basically just apricot jam warmed up. A wee tiny drop of water in it. Just gives a finishing touch, especially glaze on the fruit there as well. Nice finish to it. Adds a little bit of flavour as well. Pastry cases. Some apple. In with our apple, our stewed apple. Ubiquitous pastry cream. Absolutely lovely. I'll get a wee dusting of icing sugar as well. Really looked the part. But I hope that whet your appetite to do something with that shop bought puff pastry. Thanks for watching here at the Old Middle Kitchen, and I hope you join us again.